60% youth unemployment. And it's more than double the next guy.
Nothing prepared me for the pain and uncertainty I am feeling right now. Having to wake up every day and go to a call center, knowing fully well that had it not been for the high unemployment rate in South Africa, I would have been a candidate attorney. I have been so unlucky with getting articles ever since last year, to a point where I just decided to go to a call center. And I am not the first LLB graduate to go to a call center. I know a lot of people that have done that. And to be quite honest, guys, and this is basically just transparency for those that are starting out. This is not by any way trying to scare you guys, but there is this other side of LLB where most of us don't, get to be part of the big 5 law firms, and we're basically here.
This is the current situation in Pietermaritzburg, South Africa on the 10th of November 2025. Now, thousands of unemployed youth came to compete for 200 posts at the Department of Transport. And if this doesn't show that we have a national crisis of unemployment and inequality, I don't know what else will. The systems need to change, and this is what we're fighting for. If this doesn't convince you to come and join us in the march on the 17th of November, I don't know what else will. The systems need to favor the people. This can't be our norm. What is going to happen in 5 years' time if kunje manj? This is so sad.
Let's talk being unemployed in South Africa. Not the stats, the reality. Being unemployed here isn't just keep applying, you'll find something. It affects everything. It affects your confidence, your mental health, your relationships, and even how people look at you. You wake up with no plan, but somehow you're still exhausted at the end of the day. You're constantly having to explain yourself to family members who think you aren't doing enough. You see your friends posting new jobs, moving out, and even though you're happy for them, a part of you wonders, why not me? And the worst part is you start questioning your worth, like you don't deserve good things because you're left behind. The good news is this isn't a unique experience. A lot of people go through the exact same thing at some point in their lives. It will get better. It does get better eventually.
The thing about being unemployed as a doctor is that no one actually believes you are. Even you're still in doubt. I was recently looking at my bank account, and at this point, the only thing I could afford to pay for my sins, and only if they're 50% off. Being unemployed still feels like finding out that the quiet girl in class is pregnant, you know? How? Uzama? How? I thought Mbali would go first. But I'm not like sulky or depressed or anything, you know? Because on the bright side, I'll get to say, I used to be poor. I had nothing. I used to sleep in my car. And it was an A class, not even a C. But I really won't lie. This is probably the toughest time in my life, man. Yo, mentally. And I've seen every rich person talk about when they used to struggle and how it made them stronger, you know? I just feel more hungry. At the same time, I'm motivated to write a book, you know? Like, what would I call it? Like the 5 Cent Club? Or Poor Dad, Poorer Dad? A true rags to rags story? You know, because I sold all the other rags. I could already see the headlines. The New York Times called it a shame. But honestly, I'm not going to lie. This has kind of changed my perspective on life. You know, I used to walk around and look at homeless people and I'm like, you're so lazy. That could never be me. Now I walk around and think to myself, damn, all the good spots are taken. I'm sure people were even shocked seeing doctors strike. We were there with our signs and everyone was confused. After 30 minutes, like, what are they striking for? Luckily, the pharmacists were there to translate. But I'm not even upset at the government. I'm more upset at my biology teacher. She used to say, Given, if you keep on talking in the back, you'll never get a job. Study like Solidus and you'll be employed. Last week, Given got...
What I hate about being the unemployed one in the family is that people just automatically assume that you can't be tired. Every time you complain about being tired, it's like, what do you mean you're tired? You weren't doing anything all day. And it sucks when you are the one that takes care of the house, when you're the one that cleans, when you're the one that cooks and makes sure that things are going in order. And people just automatically assume that you don't get tired. When you say you're tired, it's like, okay, you weren't going to work 9 to 5. So like, what do you mean you're tired? That is so heartless. I don't like that. Another thing I don't like is when you can tell that the comments are implying that you're doing nothing with your life. That time you don't like where you are. You don't like your situation sometimes. You are actively trying to get a job or to change your life. And it's like, just because you're not where people are, it's like, what are you doing with your life? Like, how serious?
Wednesday, I went to the shops like a day ago and I came back home feeling very sad. And it made me realize that sometimes when you're privileged, you don't see life for what it really is. And I was sad because there was these two young men looking for jobs, going shop to shop, and obviously there's no jobs. And it's very concerning in Taba understand. And I realized that in some instances, privileged people will be like, oh, South Africans are so lazy. There's no jobs. They'll be like, oh, you guys need to go out there, to go to the shops. Guys, go to shopong. Go shopong self. Understand that? Then you get people on some, no, like, you need to pray. You need to do this. Guys, people are praying, but they still nothing. Like, I could say. And what's worse is that who's showing up both ways. Whether you go physically to look for a job, they tell you there's no jobs. When you apply online, year in, year out, no response.
80,000 South Africans lost their jobs this quarter. But Nvidia, the world's largest AI chip manufacturer, just did something insane for us. Unemployment just hit 33.2%. And your degree, I'm afraid, could be completely worthless. Traditional industries, they're all collapsing. If you're not in tech at university, you're probably panicking, and you should be. But there is a bright side. 3 things happened this week which are very positive. The first thing, Altron launched SA's first AI factory with Nvidia, creating specialized AI jobs for the first time ever. Number 2, we have MTN signing a massive AI deal with Seeker, scaling across Africa, which means what? New roles are going to actually be opening. At number 3, the government's 2025 critical skills list, ICT and AI roles are dominating while traditional careers are gradually disappearing. The pattern is clear yet brutal. AI skills are getting the jobs and everything else is gradually disappearing. DM or comment below if you're keen on getting AI skills and certifications that companies are actually hiring for in 2025. It's a scary time, but that's why I'm here. Follow for more AI, tech, and career content that'll secure your future.
Life is tough after completing your psycho articles. Ayikho imisebenzi, ayikho imali, umgogo one way. Yo, pardon me. I know this might sound like a joke, but it's actually the reality of the current economy right now, whereby you find a number of qualified chartered accountants sitting at home with their certifications. Back in 2020, 2023, it was rather rare to find qualified chartered accountants sitting at home. It would rather be a matter of people wanting to pivot to something different and did not want to remain in the traditional audit spaces. But right now, you find people who are not as pedantic, picky, yet they are still at home, sitting at home, because of the unemployment rate in South Africa, which is why a number of people are now relocating overseas because of the main pandemic that we are having in South Africa, the unemployment issue. So it's really, a challenge in South Africa right now. And back then it was a matter of, no, just go to school. Yeah, the doors will open for you. Study one of the qualifications, in demand skills. But now you could be having in demand skills, your certifications, but still unemployed. It's just the reality of the market right now, and it's quite unfortunate.
I hope everyone is doing well. So, according to reports and the news that I'm listening to, so they're saying that South Africa unemployment rate has went down. So we had 11 million people that are unemployed in South Africa, and now we are at 8 million. So is that a huge difference? Is the government making a change? What do you guys think about that whole thing? So 11 million people were unemployed. Now it's 8 million people. It's a Unemployment has went down in South Africa, but